So, the whole adulting part of life is very real, and it can get very real a lot of the days. And it was honestly scary to proceed any further, so I'm glad that I was rejected after that. It is also terrifying. Is absolutely terrifying. Hey, it's me, Abby P. For anyone new, I'm a lifestyle, culture, and language creator on this channel, and I'm also a language tutor. So today's video is going to be more on the lifestyle genre and life journey of being a creator or any kind of creative person. My last few videos on this channel were on Korean culture and language, so things like BTS, K-pop Demon Hunters, a mini vlog with my best friend in Korea, and some Korean learning resources. So if you're here for my language learning content, we'll see you in another video. Otherwise, from here on out, we're going to just talk life and what it all comes down to on this channel and what to expect. And lastly, opening the conversation back up to you as the audience and getting that feedback. It may also speak to new people on here. Maybe there's something to be learned for anyone. So I came back to this YouTube channel this year and I posted a test post on the community tab, which did beautifully. So thank you for responding to that and all your welcome back comments in my last videos. Yeah, all of that's, very sweet, and it not only sweet, but it helps a lot of content creators, even if it's just one like, one comment, one view, one share, one repost. So that's the first lesson of the day, is support your favorite content creators by doing that. It's free. It takes 1 or 2 seconds. Also, as of this year, I no longer work at my last corporate job that I held for the last 3 years previously. And so I'm technically still unemployed with a company or a corporation, but I am self-employed, working for myself and for anyone online that cares. So starting or restarting a career in your life journey, it's pretty major, right? So there are feelings of fear, doubt, and many more. So the whole adulting part of life is very real, and it can get very real a lot of the days, especially in this economy and job market right now, and in this ever-growing AI generation, and even more so in a career that is as financially unstable as being a smaller creator, or freelancer, a self-employed guy in some cases. The reality is you do need to be making a certain amount of money every month to even live, right? Unfortunately, I also reside in California here in the US, which is the third most expensive state to live in. So, rip. And the very obvious solution, right, is to polish up your resume, apply to all these jobs, get an interview if you're even lucky enough to get one in this job market, in this economy, and land a secure role so that you can live, literally. And yet, as someone who completely understands this logically and has done and lived that traditional route multiple times again and again, along with content creating on this very long journey through the years, that route still until now does not truly align with my purpose and my value in the way that I want to authentically live as a human, and the way that I better connect with other humans. And so you've got a population of people like me who are unable to sustain a more secure traditional role. All of the corporate jobs that I've held through the years, like doing admin, being an office manager, a project manager, those were the least fulfilling overall. However, they made the most income and were the most stable in terms of that, with more benefits like health benefits and 401ks, that kind of stuff. And then working as a teacher in a school in South Korea, that was the most fulfilling for me because I was able to do that the longest for 6 years versus the average like maybe 3 years at these various corporate positions. Yeah, something like under a year at the least and 3 years at the most at the corporate ones. In working as a teacher, I was living in another country in South Korea, and I will not be a teacher working in a school here in the US. I considered it for like a little bit, but no, not in the US. And so I think the people that might relate to a lot of this, of not being able to sustain or feel fulfilled with a more traditional work route, would be other creative people, other obviously self-employed people, freelancers, entrepreneurs, I think as well some neurodivergent people, and lots of introverted people like myself. And so another purpose that I have for this video is to connect with others on a similar journey, and maybe the algorithm can do its work and bring us to each other. So as far as my content creating journey, it's been a very long but fun and interesting journey, which I'm just gonna go through again for the new people and as a way for myself too, to reflect on things. If you've been here for a long time already, you can feel free to skip to the next section of the video. In the late 2000s, I started cosplaying because I grew up really liking anime and video games, and I started sharing my cosplay works and photos on sites like DeviantArt, cosplay.com, various threads like Avatar, Spirit.net for all of the Avatar The Last Airbender fans, and later Tumblr, all under the username Hello Zombie. I was and still am a very big Resident Evil fan, so that's where that came from. And my most well-known cosplays from that era, from that arc, through the years were my Naruto cosplays and my Avatar and Legend of Korra cosplays. Music was another constant in my life, so I've grown up always enjoying music and singing, performing, and later dancing. Music has always been a place for me to not only express my creativity, but as a way to just process the things of life as well. And so I uploaded song covers, and then I got into K-pop and started posting K-pop dance covers as well. So this brings us to the next arc. I was most known for my K-pop dance covers under the username Bye Bye Zombie. So that's my other YouTube channel, my first YouTube channel actually. And so the common thing in all of this so far, if you can catch it, is my love of arts and creativity. So things like cosplay, anime, games, making videos. And in this K-pop arc, I was also doing K-pop auditions. I was going to K-pop auditions for like a couple years. I never got far in any auditions. It was mostly just for fun and as a challenge for myself. That was really cool because the people on my Bye Bye Zombie channel were very supportive, and some of y'all even voted for some of my online auditions, the SM auditions, the JYP auditions. I even tried American Idol auditions one year. The furthest I got was on K-pop Star Season 1. Maybe you guys remember that one. I didn't make it on the TV at all. I only got as far as like the second or third round through auditions, but I was able to see and perform on stage in front of BoA. That was the last audition experience. I think because I got to see BoA, Queen of K-pop, and so I decided that nothing could top that. And it was honestly scary to proceed any further, so I'm glad that I was rejected after that. So following or during all of this was when I officially started learning Korean as well. And since high school, I knew I always wanted to try one of those living abroad programs in Japan or Korea. So the JET program for Japan and then the EPIC program for Korea. I did learn Japanese first, all through my 4 years of university. And then all of the K-pop stuff and starting to learn Korean came after. I already learned Japanese. And then at the time I had more Korean friends and Korean American friends. And so I was already getting familiar with Korean culture and the language. And so it made more sense to choose to go to Korea with the EPIC program versus the JET program. So I applied, I interviewed, and got accepted into the EPIC program, and then moved to South Korea. Ended up living there for 6 years, and that was the 6 years that I worked as a teacher in various public elementary schools. And that was also the start of this ABBYP channel. And it started with mostly travel vlogs and sharing my experiences in Korea and learning Korean. And because I just had more time and more freedom living abroad, I was able to upload more videos and more consistently. And so 2 to 3 years into doing that, a few of my videos started going more viral. And again, that was terrifying. Views started going up, and the most viral video was language related. And so we really started locking into the language related contents, language learning, learning Korean. And then I started getting more opportunities to collab with other language apps, brands, language creators. And then COVID happened. Yeah, I was still in Korea when it first started. And even before COVID, I was already starting to go back to my natural hermit ways in the last couple years of living in Korea. The living abroad honeymoon phase had long passed, and I felt like I did most things that I wanted to already in Korea, and I was more so really starting to miss home and being back in the States. So after all of the external things started to calm down, there were some mental health things that were starting to creep back up. And so it was evident that I needed to do more work with that. And so I started therapy. And then COVID was the catalyst to decide moving back home here to the States. COVID was truly a global experience of uncertainty for sure. And, you know, everybody's lived that experience through the darkness. I think we were able to find some light and some lessons as a collective society, and then individually for myself, it was more opportunity for self-work and self-discovery. And I didn't have a plan really coming back to the States. So I spent about 1.5 years just live streaming on Twitch. And I found that a lot of people turned to Twitch during the COVID times just to hang out with others, you know. I'd always thought about streaming on Twitch, just sharing games that I enjoyed, because I got back into gaming again towards the last couple years of my time in Korea. I finally got a Nintendo Switch at that time, and it was another fun endeavor just to try. It was a whole other world from YouTube, the whole Twitch world, and I'm always learning about it to this day. And it's an interesting space because it is more raw, it's more loose, unhinged, as they say, because there's no filter, there's no editing. Everything is happening in real time. So it's a different approach from YouTube videos or longer form videos. And it is also terrifying. It is absolutely terrifying before I go live every time, because of the fact that it is live and that you are reacting to everything in real time. So I get overwhelmed almost every stream. There's lots of alerts and lots of things going on. But a big part of why I continue to stream on Twitch is because it's a way that I practice being truly present and out of my own head. And there's been some really cool things that have happened. So I've met a lot of cool people that I'm now friends with. We do have a lot of fun just hanging out, just chatting, playing games with the community on there, and just nerding about all kinds of things that we enjoy. And also within maybe just a few months of really locking into Twitch streams, I was able to get Twitch affiliate with the help of the very supportive community on there. The whole concept to me is still kind of surreal, especially on Twitch, because at the end of the day, we're really all just people online. It does really help in continuing to pursue content creating because it shows that it's possible. through this support, right? And then from Twitch streaming, I became a Capcom creator as well. And that is a dream because Resident Evil has always been one of my favorite video game series ever since I was a kid. And Resident Evil is what I named my first usernames after: Hello Zombie and Bye Bye Zombie. And so what this means to be a Capcom creator is that I've had the opportunity to get Resident Evil games from Capcom and other Capcom games as well, and play them and share them with the community, and that's been super fun. And yeah, it's just another really cool community to be a part of. And then we all know that the corporate life era happened because adulting, and I needed to make money and move out of my parents again after living abroad and coming back home and readjusting to American life again. And anyone that works corporate or any job really has something to vent about, but because of this corporate job, I was able to have stability again for that time. And so coming back to content creating again this year, I had to research relearning algorithms and just making contents again, right? And that also includes short form contents, which I had to readjust to and get used to making as well, the short form stuff. So now I started to have the time and the energy to do all of the creative things that I had no energy and no soul to do while I was working corporate full time. Even talking to the camera like this for longer form YouTube videos with not really an audience, like there's no one here. We're not live streaming. I'm literally just talking to the camera in my room by myself, like a strange person. It's a work in progress again, okay? I also started something I've always wanted to do, even when I was still back in Korea. I started really leaning into it more this year, and it is language tutoring. So as of now, I'm tutoring Filipino or Tagalog, Japanese, Korean, and English. So if you're interested in that and studying languages with me, I'm really excited to work with you, and there will be more information and sign up form and everything down in the website link in the description. And also just FYI, my website, I made that recently as well, and that's always a work in progress, so just be mindful of that. I also made a new Instagram account for my language tutoring and learning, specifically just for those contents, so you can follow me on there as well if you'd like. So as far as this channel, you can expect more cultural and language, Korean, Filipino, Japanese. If there's anything specific that you want to see regarding those topics or any other topics at all, please let me know. Comment it down below, and this is where I open it back up to you guys. I am open to any constructive feedback. I will read it and take into consideration for this channel. A reminder too, right, that I'm obviously not living in Korea anymore, and so I will not be able to provide you new life in Korea type of contents vlogs, right? So I understand that a lot of people unsubbed for that reason. I also wasn't uploading for 3 years, so that's the other big reason, and whatever, there could be a lot of other reasons as well. If you did like this video and this discussion, let me know that as well by liking the video or leaving a comment on it down below, or subscribing to the channel if you're new. Another idea I had on this channel was to do some live streams of like co-working, co-studying. If you guys are familiar with how co-working streams and videos are, let me know if you are interested in that as well. Or if you want to catch my arts and entertainment contents that I mentioned earlier, so things like cosplay, gaming, music, that kind of stuff, that will be on my other YouTube channel, the Bye Bye Zombie channel, as well as my Twitch channel. My current Twitch live streams are on Wednesday nights every week, and then some Fridays and some Sundays. You can check the schedule on my Twitch profile. So we're gonna keep the contents separate so you know exactly where to go for each thing. We'll be more strategic with things. So my final purpose of this video was to simply just be transparent with you, with my YouTube audience and community on here. And that also goes with any sponsored content too. Brand collaborations or things like that that may come in the future. Overall, that was a lot of talking, but getting used to it, and I'm honestly really excited and looking forward to what the future does have in store for all of us. And on this channel, will you be working at the same job, or what will any of us be doing in the next years, right? maybe you know it, or maybe you don't know. And that's life, right? We do our best and we have fun and learn as much as we can along the way. That's it.